Let's just remind ourselves of the formation of these pacemakers. There are 5 teams of 7, and that is the open V that Ed was talking about, with EK, Eliud Kipchoge, at the heart of it, and 2 wingmen, if you like, behind, all guaranteed to take the wind resistance out of Eliud's performance. 5 team captains. The first of them, Bernard Lagat, he's 44 years old. He's the oldest of the pacemakers in action today. The youngest is just 19 years old. And this first group will take them through to the first 3 kilometers. The current weather, well, almost perfect. A little bit more humid at 90% than was expected and was wanted. But Eliud Kipchoge, I'm sure, will be able to cope with that. So we're into the final few minutes before countdown. What on earth is going through the mind of Eliud Kipchoge? How quickly, how fast is his heart beating?
5.
We have liftoff. Apollo Kipchoge is up and away, and the challenge, very easy to say, to run 26.2 miles, 42.2 kilometers in under 2 hours. Very easy to say, rather more difficult to achieve, and they're on their way on the Reichsbrücke, traveling over the Danube, and they will be heading into the Prater very, very shortly indeed. Shalane and Ed have joined me in the commentary box, and Shalane, former winner, of course, of the New York Marathon just, 2 years ago. In these early kilometers, what's most important for Eliud?
Right now, Eliud is just completely relaxed. He is just in a state of flow. He's just locking in to the pace. Really, no mental energy is going to be wasted right now. It's almost kind of trying to fall asleep a little bit. He's just looking at the back of his pacers, looking at the back of specifically Bernard Lagat right there. They've been practicing all week, these formations. He's very familiar with these guys. He's very comfortable. So he's just finding his rhythm, settling into pace, turning off the brain, saving all that mental energy for when it really starts to get tough and hurt, which is inevitable in the marathon.
So into the second minutes of this extraordinary challenge here, and of course the crowd is really building already. We're expecting 20 to 25,000 people lining the route. It's absolutely perfect. It's tailor-made for spectating here. The Prater, the green lung, if you like, of Vienna, the largest park in the capital city of Austria, is going to be packed here. It's perfect. There's not a breath of wind. We're looking at beautiful autumnal colours, and they make their way. Ed has joined us also in the commentary box. We're going to talk about the pacing in great detail throughout the next 2 hours, Ed, but just give us a sense of how revolutionary this open V formation is.
Well, it just looks like it shouldn't work. They're running with this wide front, and it's a reverse V, and you think, well, how can that work? But everyone tells me that it reduces drag on Eliud, and they've done all the testing that they need to do to ensure that it's actually the optimal formation.
2 men behind, of course, as we've said, and we'll introduce you to the new teams as they come and go. The drop-in, drop-out function or system is going to be absolutely key, so we'll be making sure that we talk you through that. But essentially, in terms of formation, it's 2 at the front, 2 behind them, then the captain, and in this case it's Bernard Lagat, the multiple world and Olympic champion. There he is, centre picture, with all that experience at 44 years old. Eliud, of course, in the white, right at the heart of it, and then the 2 wingmen behind. And the way they come in and out will be absolutely key. Shalane, the magic figure of 250-something has been achieved. It means they're through the first kilometre. Well, we've had 7 successive 250s, 2 minutes 50 for a kilometre. And anybody who's thinking about going out for their Saturday run, Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, maybe even doing a park run of 5 kilometres, well, just watch and learn. This is the master at work here. Just over 2 kilometres to go.
This is something that everyone can understand. It's a neat number. It's this unbroken barrier. You know, many times when you watch a race, oh, look at those splits, they're so even. Many times when you watch a race, it's not immediately obvious what's happening. In this, you know what's happening. This guy has to run under 2 hours, and it looks like he's bang on track to do that.
Eliud just took his last swig of a water bottle, and notice he didn't really drink much, but there's this, it's been proven in science that just swishing the fluids around in your mouth gives you a surge of energy and as if like you're just consuming much. But he didn't really drink that much, but that was his last water bottle, I assume.
Well, they are comfortably on the last lap here, the last loop of this 9.6 kilometer loop, and he's smiling again. Now, people can smile for different reasons, mostly because they're happy. We've said that Eliud often smiles when it's really hurting. At what point does that smile, Shalane, become a realization that he's going to do this?
I would only assume is when the finish line is in sight. That's the only reason to smile, because the marathon is an unknown beast and you never know, you can never get too confident. So even though he may be feeling good or not so good, you can never swing in emotion too strongly either way. But usually the smiling right now, I think, is because he's hurting, but hopefully there'll be a mixed smile of pain and pleasure at the finish.
Just over 4 minutes to go, and the pacemakers we are expecting to peel off and let him have the Hauptallee to himself to enjoy the moment, an historic moment, as we click ever closer to the magic figure of 1:59.59. As things stand, he will be comfortably inside 2 hours. Ed, how are you feeling from here?
I feel like a bundle of nerves. Who thought they were going to see this in 2019? We haven't seen it yet, but who thought that this was possible in 2019? Yes, there are some, parts of this which are, artificial in terms of the pacemakers, whatever. It's not a race. But who thought you'd see someone run sub-2 in 2019? It is beyond the imagination.
When the conversation first started for the sub-2 effort, I said, no way. No way in my lifetime will I witness a sub-2 hour marathon. I truly did not believe I would be able to witness something like this.
Well, the pace car will be peeling away at 41 kilometers, and then it'll be down to the pacemakers themselves to bring Eliud home, and all being well, they will then peel off as well and leave Eliud to run home the final few hundred meters. 1.2 kilometers to go. He is almost there. He has one hand on history here in Vienna. What a moment for her. What a moment for the children. The pace car has gone. We've lost the laser.
He's getting quicker.
It's now all down to Eliud and the pacemaker.
The gloves are off.
He's getting quicker.
He's racing right now. This is racing.
Well, this is true racing. Shalane knows what this feels like through the streets of Central Park in New York, whether it's in Berlin or London. But today is all about Vienna. Today is all about Eliud Kipchoge. We're down to the last couple of minutes to bring him home. Ed, some final thoughts from you.
I'm overjoyed that particularly this man has got to do this. It's not just the barrier being broken, it's something that has existed in this person's head for so long, and it's so gratifying to watch him achieve that.
He's almost there. He can see the finish line. That's the view from Eliud Kipchoge. You can see the finish line where we are looming into view. 1:57 and approaching 1:58. I think we can say with some certainty now that he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going.
He's telling him to move away.
Come on, he says. Come on, this is it. Shalane, a final thought from you.
This is incredible. Eliud's performance is such a gift to the world. His running is a gift to all of us. I feel so blessed to be here today. I hope everyone can hear me smiling through this microphone right now. I cannot stop smiling.
500 meters to go. He has the Hauptallee to himself. All the pacemakers have let him go. As Ed said, he is sprinting into the history books here. They're cheering him on. 400 meters to go. Let's bring him home. This is history unfolding on the streets of Vienna this morning. It's a Saturday run like we've never seen before. Listen at the noise. The crowd getting right behind him. Goodness me, 300 meters to go. He can see the finish line here. Neil Armstrong we had on the moon in 1969. We had Roger Bannister, the 4-minute mile 65 years ago. Edmund Hillary, the first man to climb Everest in 1953. We have 1 minute to go. Eliud Kipchoge is on his way here.
It's not going to be a minute.
This humble farmer who used to run 2 miles to school every day and back. He used to go to the nearest town on his bike to sell milk at the local market. And now, through hard work and discipline, he's pointing. Come on, he says. Eliud Kipchoge has the hand of history on his shoulder. He has less than 200 meters to go. Eliud Kipchoge, let's keep an eye on the clock, into the final 20 seconds. Eliud Kipchoge has on his shoulder, 140, the unofficial time.
There's his wife.
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books in Vienna. 1:59.40, the unofficial time. The first man to run a marathon in under 2 hours. One final lung-busting stride for Kipchoge. One giant leap for human endeavour. And you know, Kipchoge was right. No human is limited. And now he can celebrate. He has done it. And to Roger Bannister, Neil Armstrong, Edmund Hillary, we can now add the name of Eliud Kipchoge. Shalane, sum it up for us.
I would like to just thank Eliud for sharing his gift with the world, with us today in the City of Dreams. He created an absolute masterpiece that will never be forgotten.
Ed.
That was absolutely beautiful. That last kilometre was absolutely beautiful, with his teammates cheering him on from behind. He's now been held aloft by all of his teammates. There's thousands of people with cameras who want to hug him. There's a Kenyan flag. It's pandemonium at the finish line. He's going crazy. You wouldn't have thought he'd just run a marathon.
No, he looks phenomenal. There are people crying in the crowd.
Well, there was a very carefully choreographed plan for the finish, but that's completely been ripped up and thrown out of the window because Eliud Kipchoge is on. He's still got energy. How on earth do you have the energy to run like this after running at 13 miles an hour for 2 hours? There you can see the unofficial time. We may take a minute or two to make that the official time, but 1:59.40.2 is the unofficial time. Comfortably inside 2 hours, and the Olympic champion, the world record holder, the greatest marathon runner the world has ever seen, is now in the history books. And they are going berserk right in front of our commentary position here.
We could just see his physio, his long-time physio.
He's crying, wiping tears away.